Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson, and we are going to convert percents to fractions. So we're continuing our studies, and now we're going to go on with percents to fractions. So our vocabulary: percent means per hundred. There's the symbol for the percent. Here are the steps that you should know to convert a percent to a fraction. Step 1. Write the number next to the percent sign as a numerator. Step 2. Make the denominator 100. Step 3. Simplify the fraction. So those are our 3 steps. So let's get to it. So write 72% as a fraction in simplest form. So let's see. Our first step was to take the number, and let's get my pen. If I can get a pen. Okay, 72%. So we're going to write as a fraction. So we're going to take the number that's next to the percent and write that as the numerator. Then step 2, the denominator is 100. That would be our answer, but they said put it in simplest terms. So that means we have to divide both top and bottom number by something until we can't divide anymore. Well, I noticed both numbers, 72 and 100, end in an even number. So even number I can divide by 2. So let's get a red pen and divide this by 2. "72 divided by 2 is 36. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Now I notice that 36 and 50 are both even numbers, so I can divide one more time by 2. So let's take 36 over 50 and divide by 2. And you find 2 is one of the most common numbers that divides into a whole lot of numbers. So if I divided 36 in half, that would give me 18. And divide 50 in half, divide by 2, that would give me 25. Now I'm looking, this is 18, and I'm looking at this is an odd number, so I don't know, can I divide by 3? No, 18 divided by 3, but 25 doesn't divide by 3. Can I divide by 4? No. 5, I can divide that by 5. So I'm running out of numbers, so I think I've gotten pretty low as I can go. So I'm going to say my simplest form is going to be 18 over 25. So that was nice. So let's check our answer. 72 over 100, we divided both by 4, and where the 4 came from, I divided first by 2, and then divide by 2 again. I should have just divided by 4. That would have been a lot simpler, but sometimes you don't see it. So 72 divided by 4 is 18. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So we ended up getting the same answer, just taking an extra step. No harm. So here's the next question for you to try. Which fraction is equivalent to 48%? So we have a multiple choice. So remember how to change that 48% to a fraction. And that means the bottom number is going to be 100. So let's get a pen real quick. So the bottom number is going to be 100, and then take the 48 and put that right on the top. So there's the fraction, but if I'm looking at my answer choices here, I don't see 48 over 100. So that means I got to simplify. So I got to reduce. So they both end in even numbers, so maybe I should divide it by 2. So I'm going to let you deal with that, and I'm going to continue on. So you reduce. That'll give you some good practice. If you have questions, bring them in, and I'll be glad to answer them in class. So check your understanding, and if there's something that you don't understand, bring it into class, and we'll gladly talk about it in the morning. If you're still uncertain, watch the video again. Maybe you can get it on the second go round. So let's look at one more question. Here, sales at Bill's Bikes increased by 370% this year. Convert that to a mixed number. So we're taking this percent, which is 370, and I notice it's over 100% for a change, and we're making a mixed number. A mixed number is a whole number with a fraction or decimal with it. So we need to convert that to a mixed number. So let's take a quick look at that. We got, let's get a pen. We got 370%. Now remember, we take the number next to the percent sign. That'll go right on the top. And the percent's bottom number is always 100. So our fraction would be 370 over 100. So we need to reduce that. So I would divide this by 10, because this is a 0 and this ends in a 0. So that's the same thing as dividing by 10, top and bottom. So that's a shortcut, just cut off the 0. That will give you 37 over 10. And now you can divide that a little bit more, or just use your regular division. 10 on the outside, 37 on the inside. 10 goes into 3, 0 times. 10 goes into 37, 3 times. 10 times 3 is 30. 7 remainder. And I'm going to put 7 as my remainder, but over the number I was dividing by 10. So my mixed number is going to be 3 and 7/10. So that is my mixed number. It's a whole number with a fraction. So I changed 370% into 300 over 70 divided by 10. And that gave me 37 over 10. Or I could have just took off the 3 and just left the 70 because it was more than 100%. That would have been 70 hundredths. Then divide by 10, and that would have given me 3 and 7/10 again. So there were a couple ways around this. So this was a pretty good question. So check your understanding, see if you understand it. If you're not sure, rewatch the video again. I hope the lesson was easy for you. If it wasn't, watch the video, bring in your questions. I'll be glad to see you in the morning. So this is Dr. Robinson, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.